This weekend sees Arsenal play in the Community Shield for the 23rd time. In this video I just look back at the history of the competition and Arsenal's history in the competition. Hello, my name is Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video I just really wanted to go through a history of the Charity Shield, Community Shield fixture and also as well look at our own performances in it through the years as well. Just before I get into that, if you're new to this channel, welcome along. Please click on the subscribe button to get notifications of when I release new videos, keep up to date with everything that I'm doing, and please click on the like button as well for this video if you enjoy it. And if you've been before and you're coming back again, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying what I'm doing, and again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to help me grow the channel. So the Community Shield, or the Charity Shield as it was initially called, it actually began life as the Sheriff of London Charity Shield, and it was introduced in 1898 as a sort of professionals against amateurs game, but it sort of evolved more to become the league champions against the Southern League champions, and the first kind of meeting of that as the Charity Shield was in 1908. It was at Stamford Bridge between Manchester United, who were the Football League champions, against Queen's Park Rangers, the Southern League champions, and Manchester United won 4-0 after a replay, and it was at Stamford Bridge in front of 50,000 fans. After that it became very similar to that, the Football League against the Southern League, or amateurs against professionals. That was how it stayed for quite a while. It wasn't until 1921 that the fixture became, as we know it now, the league champions against the FA Cup winners. But it didn't stay like that. Through the 1920s there was still amateur against professional games, there was still Southern League teams against league teams and stuff like that. It wasn't until 1930 that the league champions against the FA Cup became the regular fixture for the Charity Shield, and that's pretty much how it stayed ever since, with the odd one or two here and there changing slightly. Now the most successful team in the history of the Charity Shield, Community Shield, are Manchester United, with 17 outright wins and 4 shared, and we're actually in second place with 14 outright wins and 1 shared. Liverpool actually third with 10 outright wins and 5 shared. So us and Liverpool have both won it 15 times. So on Saturday it's going to decide which one of us actually takes over second place completely. Now that the first Charity Shield game to take place at Wembley wasn't until 1974. Now that was actually the infamous game between Liverpool and Leeds, where Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner were sent off for fighting. Obviously it's a big story at the time, and of course it was also featured in the film The Damned United as well, about Brian Clough's time at Leeds, because of course that was during his brief period as manager at Ellen Road. So which obviously again that's actually the opening fixture of the league season, isn't it? So that's a little history of that. Obviously since 1974 every Charity Shield or Community Shield game has taken place at either Wembley or the Millennium Stadium, except for in 2012 when Manchester City played Chelsea at Villa Park. The reason that wasn't at Wembley was because of Wembley was being used at that time for the Olympic football tournament, of course the London Olympics in 2012, so that was at Villa Park. But other than that, they've all been, since 1974, they've all been played at either Wembley or briefly the Millennium Stadium, of course, while Wembley was being redeveloped. Now in terms of Arsenal, our first appearance in the Charity Shield was in 1930, after we'd won their first ever trophy, the FA Cup. We played Sheffield Wednesday, the league champions. The game was played at Stamford Bridge, and we actually won 2-1. Our first goals in the competition were scored by Joe Hume and David Jack, as we beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. The following year we were back again, 1931. This time we were the league champions. We played FA Cup holders West Bromwich Albion. It was at Villa Park, and we won 1-0 with a goal from Cliff Bastin. Now actually the 1930s was obviously a great decade for Arsenal. We won a lot of trophies, but we also played in 7 of the 9 Charity Shield games in that decade, and we won 5 of them. We won it again in 1933. We played Everton at Goodison Park. We won 3-0. Ralph Burkitt scored twice and Ray Bowden scored the other goal. And then in 1934, as our first Charity Shield game at Highbury, we beat Manchester City 4-0. Ralph Burkitt scored again, Ted Drake scored, Cliff Bastin scored, and also Marshall scored as we won 4-0. In 1935 was our first defeat in the game. We lost at Highbury actually to Sheffield Wednesday. They got their revenge from 1930. They beat us 1-0. And in 1936 we lost again, this time against Sunderland up at Roker Park. We lost 2-1. It was Alf Kirchin scored for Arsenal. And we finished the decade 1938. It was actually the last Charity Shield game played before the Second World War. And we beat Preston North End 2-1 at Highbury with Ted Drake scoring both the goals. Now it wasn't held again until 1948, the Community Shield, Charity Shield, sorry, and we were in it again because we'd won the league. Obviously, 1948, we played FA Cup with Manchester United at Highbury. It was a thrilling game it was, and Arsenal won 4-3. Dan Lewis scored twice, Ronnie Rook scored, and also Bryn Jones, who was our record signing, I believe, still at that time. We were then in it again 1953. Again it was at Highbury, and we played Blackpool, of course, who had won the Matthews Cup final just before, the season before. We beat them 3-1. It was Tommy Lawton scored and Doug Lishman scored twice. Now that was our last appearance in the Charity Shield for 23 years. 26 years, sorry. We did have the opportunity to play in it in 1971 after we'd won the double, but we rejected that offer. And in fact, Leicester, who'd won the second division, played Liverpool, who of course were runners up in the FA Cup. So our next appearance wasn't until 1979, and that was actually our first Charity Shield game at Wembley. We played the all-conquering Liverpool side from the late 1970s and lost 3-1. Alan Sunderland scored for us that day at Wembley. Baking hot day, I seem to remember it was. We wasn't in it again for another 10 years until 1989, of course, following our great success in the league. Again, it was Liverpool that we played, and again we lost. It was 1-0. We lost at Wembley that day. We then had started a run of we was in it quite often actually over the next decade. In 1991 we played Tottenham, of course we'd won the FA Cup, and we drew 0-0, quite a dull, uneventful game, although I think it was Andy Cole's only appearance for Arsenal, only senior appearance for Arsenal. They finished 0-0 and we actually shared the Community Shield, the only time we've ever shared it. The only time I ever shared anything with Tottenham, I believe, apart from the ground once, I think, during the war. Then we were back again in 1993. We played Manchester United. Of course, we'd won the FA Cup the year before. They were the league champions. It finished 1-1. Again, it was a draw. Ian Wright scored our goal. I think it was the only goal he ever scored against Peter Schmeichel, actually. That one went to penalties, so they sort of changed the rules and decided they were going to get a winner on the day. It went to penalties, and Manchester United won. So we didn't win that year. We're back 1998. Again, it was against Manchester United. Of course, we won the double the year before, and that became our first ever victory at Wembley in the Charity Shield, and the first time we'd actually won it outright since 1953. We beat Manchester United 3-0 that day. It was Mark Overmars, Nicholas Anelka and Christopher Ray got our goals. The following year, 1999, again we played Manchester United. The third time we played them, actually the fourth time, wasn't it? No, the third time we played them in a row. We beat them 2-1, come from a goal down. It was Ray Parr who scored the winner after Carnu had equalised with a penalty, and that was our last Charity Shield game at the old Wembley. We came back in 2002, their first one that we played at the Millennium Stadium. We played Liverpool again for the third time, and of course we won 1-0. If you remember, it was Gilberto Silva scored on his debut, his first game for the club, his first goal as well. So that was 2002. 2003 we were back, of course, at the start of the invincible season, played Manchester United again at the Millennium Stadium. We drew 1-1, Thierry Henry scored our goal, but we lost on penalties. I think it was Robert Pires who may have missed the crucial penalty in that game from what I remember. 2004, back again at the Millennium Stadium, again against Manchester United. This time we won 3-1. Gilberto Silva actually scored again. So he scored in 2 of the 3 we played at the Millennium Stadium. Jose Antonio Reyes also scored along with an own goal. I believe it was from Mikel Silvestre, who of course later would play for Arsenal. 2005, fourth year in a row we were back, and this time we lost to Chelsea 2-1, and it was Cesc Fabregas who scored our goal. Our next appearance wasn't until 2014, of course, after we'd beaten Hull in the FA Cup final. That was our first appearance at the new Wembley in the Community Shield, and we beat Manchester City 3-0, if you remember. 2 of the goal scorers from the FA Cup final, Santi Cazorla and Aaron Ramsey, both scored again, along with Olivier Giroud, who of course would score in that season's FA Cup final as well. The following year, 2015, we played Chelsea. again at the new Wembley. We won 1-0. It was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain who, of course, who scored that goal early on in that game. And our last appearance was in 2017. Again, we played Chelsea. And we drew 1-1 on the day. It was a debut goal actually from Sead Kolasinac, another debut goal, and we won on penalties. I think Petr Cech saved a couple, didn't he, in a shootout there? So that sort of brings us up to date with our history in the Community Shield and the Charity Shield. So we've won it 15 times, which was, of course, including one that we shared with Tottenham, and we've lost it 7 times. So we are the second most successful club in the history of the competition. So in terms of goal scorers, no one player has scored more than 3 goals for us in a Community Shield, Charity Shield competition. We've had 2 players score 3, which is Ted Drake and Ralph Burkitt, both scored 3. There's a few players that have scored 2: Reg Lewis, Doug Lishman, Cliff Bastin and Gilberto Silva. Sead Kolasinac is the only current player who's previously scored in a Community Shield game for us, of course, in 2017. But of course, Aubameyang's got a good record at Wembley recently, hasn't he? He got 4 goals in his last 2 appearances there. So let's see if he can maybe add another 1 or 2 and get onto that list as well. So that's sort of the history of the Charity Shield, Community Shield, and our history as well. Hope you enjoyed that, a little bit of nostalgia there for you. If you like this video, I say please click on the subscribe button to keep in touch with all the videos that I'm doing. I've got some good stuff coming up as we move into the new season. I'm hoping to have a live show still later on this week ahead of the Community Shield. I'm waiting for confirmation on a special guest for that one, and I have definitely got a live show for next week with another special guest, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. I will be doing a preview of the Liverpool game for the Community Shield as well, going through predicted team lineup and how I expect the game to go and all that kind of stuff. That will probably be coming up on Friday. I say there'll be lots of other stuff as well, some transfer news hopefully coming in. Still nothing confirmed as yet. Aubameyang still hasn't signed his contract, which is a little bit of a surprise really, isn't it? Because he did play in that friendly yesterday. I'm surprised he hasn't signed it, but maybe he's waiting to see these other transfers that come in. Wait until we get a few more players coming before he signs it. But let's hope that that's still going to be happening because we believe that it is. But we'll see. So obviously any news that comes in, I'll do a video. I may do a live video on anything of that comes in over the next few days, next few weeks as well. So that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. So please subscribe to the channel to help me grow. It's really important for me if you can do that. And of course, in the meantime, as always, come on you Gunners.